What is up, everyone? How y'all doing today? My name is Reef, and this is your Daily Chat Season 5, Episode 16 for April the 7th, 2020. My goodness, is this year going fast. Even with the whole lockdown thing, we are just flying through the days. What has everybody been doing? We are, I think, in day... What are we? In day 20... 21? Day 30? I think we're in week 4. I think we just entered week 4 of lockdown. If you're watching this like sometime in the future, which no idea why you would be, but yeah, I think this week we entered week 4. I'm not gonna lie, man, the days blend together pretty hard now. It's becoming one of those things where, whether it's Thursday, Tuesday, or Saturday, I'm kind of starting to forget the difference between the course of the days. And I'm sure a lot of you guys too. For those of you who are still lucky enough to work from home, I'm pretty sure you're a little bit more grounded than the rest of us normies. But for those of you normies like me, yeah, guys, just keep riding it out. It's the best you can do right now. You got a long road to hoe right now, and it is not going to get any better in sight. I know they have started doing human trial testing in New York and a few other states. While that is good news for the, medical division of this whole in-game world event, don't hold out hope that those results are going to come back anytime soon. Those type of things take a few months to kind of get accurate data back. So, yeah. But in the course of this whole in-game world event, and yes, that is how I'm going to keep referring it for the rest of this show and for the YouTube algorithm, we have seen a bunch of stuff kind of come to light that I don't think we ever really would have, even though it was one of those best unkept secrets for most of us, whether that be education or business or healthcare. This whole event has really exposed a lot of problems that not only North America, but even Europe and some other markets are having right now. Antiquated infrastructure, red tape, bureaucratic policies, complete lack of innovation and preemptiveness, or fallback plan for the event if something like this was to ever happen. A good example is education right now. Education was not ready for a complete and total societal lockdown. Not at all. Like, there's a handful of online only schools like Athabasca University, but the vast majority of them, they were not ready for this. Every single school I have ever attended for post-secondary education, every single one of them are basically in panic mode or went into panic mode the second the lockdown hit. And now I'm seeing final exams get canceled. I'm seeing final exams get kind of optional. Just seeing a whole bunch of teachers having to revise notes to make them PowerPoints because they never had PowerPoints before. They always hand wrote the notes on the board. And we're seeing a lot of this stuff happen where it's we really need to fix a lot of this stuff when we come out the other side of this whole event. There's going to be a lot of things that we need to fix on the other side. Even healthcare, man. Healthcare was not ready for this kind of thing. While healthcare does see, rises and dips in patient influx, this is next level. We were not ready for this kind of influx of just hundreds and thousands of cases. And as I watch the counter for the virus go up, man, I don't see it getting any better right now. And if you're an entrepreneur, I would think that there's a lot of money up for grabs coming down the pipeline here. If you are a entrepreneur or a skilled computer person, this might be your time to shine, Billy. This might be it. And one of the things that we've seen, especially when it comes back to the education, is teleconferencing and remote video services. Now, one thing that we saw, and I think a lot of people on this platform and in this medium knew this was coming when we all went into lockdown, was we knew some teachers were going to start leveraging live streaming platforms, whether that be YouTube, Mixer, especially Twitch. And we saw that come with mixed results. I saw one teacher get doxxed. I saw another one whose stream was a huge success. And we've seen it with mixed results. But one thing teachers have been doing is using teleconferencing programs like Zoom. And if you look at today's title, I picked that for a very good reason. Because Zoom has been really kind of catapulted into the forefront of teleconferencing applications. Now, the good part about that is huge publicity for the company. The bad part about that is huge publicity for the company. There is such a thing as bad publicity, and it's kind of when the bounty and bug hunters come around to your program and start looking at things, and lawyers start looking at your EULA and all those other kind of things. And we've seen Zoom really kind of get taken to task. It came out that through a bug hunter, that there was a huge security flaw with Zoom. Then we've also seen that Zoom has been selling your data to Facebook. Then we've also seen, and this part might get this video demonetized. That was if there was monetized, which it could be if you smash that subscribe button on YouTube, because we are so close to 1,000 subscribers again. But we've seen some people just guessing links in Zoom and just joining random conference calls and treating it like a game of chat roulette. And for those of you who know what chat roulette is, good for you. You got what I mean. And for those of you who don't know, think about Chatterbait, except you joined a classroom and chatterbaited your response in the classroom. And then there you go. So Zoom has really kind of taken a battering in the last few weeks. And now it has come out that the New York Department of Education has dropped Zoom from its approved application list and is now switching to Microsoft Teams. I'll admit my experience with Microsoft Teams is extremely limited, but listen, I've used Zoom before. I hate Zoom. I hate everything about Zoom. Zoom is a trash application, has been for God knows how long. Way before this, I hated Zoom. But Microsoft Teams, I can't assume is going to be a drastic or a great improvement, but it can't be any worse than Zoom. It can't be. Like, Microsoft is the people that own Skype. Come on, Skype has never done anything wrong in its whole existence. Right? But no, the Department of Education for New York has absolutely dropped Zoom. Zoom has been catching fire from all routes right now. And now I wonder how the company is going to play this off and play this forward. Because here's their response. Zoom is safe to use for both you personally and businesses, but you should read through on how to best protect yourself and your company. Okay, listen to me, you stupid hookers. When your response is read this document to learn how to protect yourself while using our application, that means you're not doing enough. That means you are doing some shady stuff. And putting out a best practices is your way of trying to cover your butt. No. See, here's the thing. You don't really get to play both sides of the coin like that. I shouldn't have to protect myself while using your application. The thing about it is, on my side, okay, when I say something and it goes from my network card in my PC to my switch, to my router, to my modem, and then out the door, once it hits your side, your server side, it is now in your control to protect my information. You wanted the money, and you wanted the traffic, well, you get to take all the responsibilities that go with it. And now that you have been brought to light by a bunch of bug hunters and a bunch of other people that you are doing absolutely shady garbage with people's information, it's now watching Zoom just try and do damage control. And right now, I hope Zoom goes under. I really do. I've always hated that program. I said that earlier in the show. I hate that program. Watching that company go under, it would bring me a big amount of pleasure, because there are so many better programs out there. Even ones that aren't that good are still better. A good example is Slack. Slack's telecoms program, it's pretty cumbersome, but it's still better than Zoom. Now, can it support mass meetings? I have no idea. The most mass meetings I ever had was like 4 people on a Slack call. Discord now has live video feeds of up to 50 people. To the best of my knowledge, most elementary classes are like 33 to 40 kids. That leaves 10 people left for you to kind of fit into the room. So Discord has a better way to do a video classroom. Microsoft Teams, for better or for worse, Skype. Say what you want about Skype. I've never really had problems with it. I know some of you who think that you're high level network people, you think that, they're siphoning off your information, which they kind of are. I'm not gonna lie, they kind of are, but not for the reason that you think they're doing it. But there's a bunch of other programs, and Zoom has always been just a garbage pile. So watching Zoom get in trouble, not gonna lie, brings me a great amount of pleasure. And since I'm not a news outlet, I am a pundit, I get to have an opinion. And my opinion is I hate you and everything you stand for, Zoom. And I can't wait for you to get into a big lawsuit. Now, one thing that this kind of was really, really surprising, and this comes from CNBC, New Jersey needs programmers who know COBOL. Yeah, and you're not missing that headline. You're not misreading it at all. That is a 60-year-old programming language. And they need people who know COBOL to help with this whole in-game world event. I was going to say on the sentence here, I'm going to come back to it. This rounds back to what I was saying by this whole thing exposing flaws in our system. This whole thing of bureaucratic red tape and our healthcare system not being up to snuff. This is right here. New Jersey needs people who know a 60-year-old programming language. And why do they need that? Because a lot of the New Jersey system runs on very, very, very old mainframes that use COBOL. The systems are up to 40 years old. And this is just a not okay way for a first world country like the US to be. You cannot be using 40-year-old mainframes. How crazy is that? Can you imagine ever in 2020 being treated by technology from the 1970s? Yeah, that's right. Is that right? 80, 90, 2000, 2010. Okay, so from the 80s. My bad. From the 1980s. That's horrible. I throw out PCs that are newer. To me, this PC I am broadcasting on right now, okay? This PC is 4 years old as of August this year. And I'm already preparing to downgrade it to my next TV computer and put in a new PC in its place. And then the New Jersey Health Department in 40 years could not secure funding to upgrade off of a COBOL mainframe. That is mind-blowing. And look, COBOL is a 6-year-old language. It is not one of those things that is being trained in schools anymore, okay? There are people who know COBOL. There are people who know assembly, obviously. But a 6-year-old language like that is not one of those high in-demand skills anymore. If we all thought PHP was archaic and old, Cobalt is a fossil found like 20,000 feet into the ground. And I am so saddened by the fact that this is even something that even has to be asked and considered for. Just, wow. Cobalt, of all the things, you have that as your backbone. That is not okay. And coming out the other side of this thing, I would want to see the US maybe divert a little money from the military budget. Look, the military is important, but they don't need no $700 billion or $600 billion in a budget. Siphon off like 100 bill of that, so make their budget 500 billion, and take 100 billion and redistributed that out to the education system and to the healthcare system. Okay? $50 billion will go a long way in fixing a lot of the systems put in place, because right now the US is struggling with dealing with this whole thing. They're doing a pretty good job on the low tier frontline practitioner side of things. They're doing a great job. They're doing the best they can with what they have. But on the back end, upper admin, they are absolutely dropping the ball at every single opportunity that it has passed to them. 100%. From Trump to Pence to Pelosi, they all are dropping the ball. The one upper admin who's doing a good job is Fauci. He is the one person doing a good job, and that's kind of because it's his job to head this thing up. He has to do a good job. But every other admin is just dropping the ball like absolute crazy. And coming out the other side of this, they have to fix a lot of this stuff. They can't have, Cobalt be their backbone. They just can't. You got to have something more modern, more equipable, more trainable. You think people are going to be wanting to go be like, I'm going to go learn Cobalt? No one is going to say that for their career path. It's not something that we ever thought we needed anymore. We thought a lot of the stuff was already in a landfill somewhere. And the fact that it is being ran in the New Jersey healthcare system is nothing short of saddening. So there is that. If you know Cobalt, hey, reach out. Go to CNBC and you can look this up here and you can find people to reach out to. But yeah, there's that. I highly doubt any of you know Cobalt. I would be shocked if any of you knew it. And in our final story today, California legislator introduces a fiber broadband bill for all. This was a little bit head-scratching. The fact that this came out now. While, don't get me wrong, I am unbelievably thrilled that senators in the US are finally starting to take the importance of the internet seriously for more than just entertainment purposes, but for an actual utility and for actual information distribution. This seems like a very, very odd time to put this kind of bill forward. And this bill was written by Senator Lena Gonzalez. And she wants to fix a bunch of stuff from the California Advanced Services legislation, or from the California Advanced Services Fund, which is one of the things in place that governs how the internet was distributed out to areas. Okay? And the thing is, though, this fund was first developed back in was first reformed back in, I think, 2017, was amended in 2017. But the original inception of this whole thing was based on DSL connected stuff. And when the bar was set so low that you could trip over it and classify that as an area being served, we got a lot of problems. As you see in the US is a monopoly and duopoly system where you have maybe Comcast and Time Warner. At the best of times, you'll get two. But most of the times, your entire area is all served by one person, whether that be Comcast or Time Warner or Quest or whoever. So this really prevents innovation from happening. As we've seen, there's not a lot of fiber through the US in terms of like fiber to the home. Whereas if you compare it to somewhere like North Korea or South Korea or Japan, heck, even China has fiber to the home in more places. So the US has always been laughed at and mocked for its complete lack of forward initiative to catch up to the rest of the world. And now I'm glad to see once again that the senator has put this bill forward, and she is trying to redo how the internet is being distributed to people and being laid out in California. I feel like right now that's probably not people's number one concern, but at the same time, we've seen requests of people saying, or not people, but companies and government saying, hey, throttle the internet down, bandwidth is being used too much, it's slowing down the whole system, blah, 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 blah. A lot of wrong information about networking has come about out of this, but the long and the short is they need to fix the backbone. They always have. They have for years and years and years, and I'm glad they're doing it now. But at the same time, though, I feel like now was a very tone-deaf time to worry about something like the internet when this obviously can't be finished next week. This is a multi-year project. There's no way they would get fiber to, 386 million homes that quickly. So this is a multi-year project. It's very tone deaf. The heart was in the right place. The brain was not. So there you guys go. That's been your daily chat for April 7th, 2020. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this, hey, like, comment, share, and subscribe on this YouTube channel. We are almost to 1,000 subscribers. We are so close. So, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out a lot. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. My name has been Arif. This has been your daily chat, and I'll see all of you on the next episode. Bye.